Hello everybody, my name is WV and I'm a biomedical student at the KU Leuven. Today I have my very first episode of a podcast that I call the Procrastination Station, and well, it's not to make you guys procrastinate, but it's when you are procrastinating. It is meant to be a chill and quiet way of just listening to what I have to say about my experience in university, why I chose university, what I think are wrong and right things people show on the internet and talk about. There's a lot I will be talking about depending on how many episodes I make. There's also going to be specific episodes about specific topics, but today we will be talking about what we see online from university, why I chose biomedical sciences, and why motivational videos always seems to be a little bit strange. Like, I don't really understand why they do the things they do. The point is not to make me tell you how you should study or how should work. It is just to tell what I know, share it into the world, and for you to just listen, enjoy, nod or don't, and do something while you're listening. So, just to clarify, I do not have the proper equipment to record in a good manner. I've tried using text-to-speech programs, but they're awful. They don't ever seem to work. It always sounds off and just doesn't feel as personal. So if you're annoyed by my voice, which I am myself, but if you find it okay, it's okay. If you're annoyed by my voice, you can say it and I can try the text-to-speech thing again to counteract the little bit of a strange feeling I get from just like listening to a voice. I've put some music in the background. It's my music I've made myself. If you do not like it, you can let me know. I'm also a little bit sick, so if my voice sounds too nasal or too sharp, it is because I have a stuffy nose at this moment. When I look online and I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see those videos like a day in the life or study with me videos, I always see these perfect study spaces, perfectly color-coded notes, so perfect routines, those inspiring routines that include gym sessions, healthy meal preps, and somehow they still get 8 hours of sleep. It seems to me like these influencers have it all together. They have their spotless rooms, they do every task perfectly, and on top of that they also have a perfect social life. It's like every day is perfectly scripted, but behind all of that curated perfection there is another story. A story no one likes to talk about, but a story we will talk about. Let me be honest. Most of what we see online is an idealized version of what student life should be, not what it is. It's that carefully staged image where every detail is perfectly arranged, and while it may seem inspiring at first, it will quickly turn into unrealistic expectations. When you compare your own life, a life full of chaos, deadlines, unexpected hurdles, moments of self-doubt and difficulties, to those picture-perfect ideas, it's very easy to feel like you're failing. Student life is not like that. It is not the polished, Instagram-ready version. No. For many of us, it is messy, it is unpredictable, and it is chaos. Of course, there will be days when you wake up feeling unstoppable, when everything seems to be right and click into place. But there will also be days when you get out of bed and feel like just getting out of bed itself is like climbing a mountain, and that is perfectly okay. At the end of the day, university is not about flawless perfection. It is about resilience, perseverance, and learning from every single experience. And so let us, together, while I talk to you, build a new idea of what student life should feel like. You could, for starters, say that student life is like physical training, physical exercise, like going to the gym. When you go to the gym, you don't lift weights to lift weights. You exercise to get a better result, to be stronger. That's exactly the same with just overall student life. You are physically training your mind and your spirit, and sometimes your days will be filled with energy and motivations. You can tackle every challenge on your to-do list, but other days, despite your best intentions, you will hit snooze, and you will hit snooze again, and you will hit snooze again, and then finally you will get out of bed and you're just wondering, how did this happen? How did I get here? Every single day, whether it is your best day or a tough day, is a step in the journey to become better. And you'll ask yourself, oh, but I could do it yesterday, why can't I do it today? Not every single day is the same, just as not every single exercise is the same, just as not every single moment of energy is the same. But of course, I am not here to pretend I'm the perfect student. That is the whole point of this podcast. I have had my fair share of struggles, especially during my first year, but now they are far from done. I've had to do redo courses, I have faced setbacks, and sometimes I've even questioned my decision. There are moments when the pressure gets on, and you will feel like you're chasing deadlines that never seem to end, yet amid those challenges, there are moments of victories. When I scored an 18 out of 20 on subjects that truly felt motivating. Sure, my current average is still 63% or something, and that will not scream perfection. It will not get any of those cum laude titles, but to me it represents perseverance. It represents willingness to push forward even when going gets tough. Every small achievement, every day you make it to class or complete an assignment despite those challenges we just mentioned, is a step towards something bigger. There is not one single formula for success. Sometimes the progress will be subtle, sometimes you will take little steps, and sometimes it will be a leap forward. But every single step counts. And that is what I wanted to celebrate on this podcast. I do not think I have the time today to talk about everything I want to talk about progression and motivation and how we work on finding a good way to go on this together. It will be another episode, but today, for now, I will talk about why I chose biomedical sciences. I will talk about my process, what went behind it, what happened in high school, what I realized in university itself, and how I think you should approach choosing biomedical sciences. So, without any further distractions, I will talk about my path. In high school, I was juggling several interests. I was interested in chemistry, I liked biology, I liked the medical side of both. I also did the basic sciences like physics and math, but I just finished high school. And I finished with the maths and science, which is like the raw sciences. And I realized that I would be on a very point of choosing what course I would need to take in university. And as I started to read into various subjects, I realized that I would enjoy the basic idea of science, but what truly captivated me was the medical side, how our bodies would work, how diseases develop, and what makes us human. So I thought to myself, what would excite me more? Working on those theoretical, basic equations and theories to solve mathematical and physical things? Or would I be more interested in looking at the medical side, at the biological processes that happen in the human, the way that we as a race work, the way that those basic chemistry and physics ideas get applied to our basic human lives, how things work and more importantly don't work in parts of disease. And I decided that I wanted the answers. I wanted the answers about how we work, not just how the numbers and the formulas work. So I chose the medical field. So the medical field has a lot of different variations. You have your standard medicine, and that is the way to become the doctors. This was the earliest of the courses, and this is also the quote-unquote classical course. Then you have, of course, what I talk about, the biomedical sciences. It is the more scientific way behind medicine, and then you have other things like pharmaceutical sciences. How to choose between those? Well, there is a common misconception that if you don't go for medicine, it is because you're taking the easy route or you're avoiding the pressure. But that could not be further from the truth. Biomedical sciences isn't some watered down version of medicine. It's a distinct field with its own sets of challenges and rewards. While medicine is all about treating patients, one-to-one, finding diagnostics and working it out to cure a patient. Biomedical sciences is about asking big questions. Why does cancer develop the way it does? What genetic or environmental factors contribute to the spreading of a disease? Instead of memorizing diagnostic criteria, I get to dive into deep research, using science to uncover answers and develop treatments. It would be a perfect way to blend my interest for science and medicine. So between the rivalry of biomedical sciences and medicine, you have pharmaceutical sciences. Pharmaceutical sciences is also in the medical field, but it's more chemistry, and later you become the pharmacists. And I found chemistry very interesting, but as a lot of things, I realized that I should keep chemistry more of like an interest than really a way to study. Because a lot of parts from chemistry, like the analytics, which is very precise science and math behind the chemistry and the different rules and expectations, I did not really like the idea of being a pharmacist or doing only pharmacy. So I kind of leaned more towards biomedical sciences than pharmacy. I'm going to jump a little bit forward in time now, but when you get into biomedical sciences, the starting number is around 500 people, and in the second year there's 150 people. A lot of people get into biomedical sciences and quit after the first year. Why is this a problem? First of all, medicine requires an entrance exam. Biomedical sciences requires a test, but it is not saying you're in or you're out. It's more saying like, oh, you're capable or you need to work a little bit harder. So a lot of people who do not reach medicine, the points for the entrance exam, they will go to biomedical sciences because it's nearly the same. So that only heartens the misconception about why biomedical sciences is a worse version of medicine. When people bring up this, you could even call it a stigma, it's always the quote-unquote high society who think like, oh, I'm the best, I'm going to do medicine and I'm going to be a doctor. It is also the older course, so it has a lot of history around doctors and medicine being the highest of high. But I knew I didn't want to do the doctor. I never wanted to be a doctor. But I did want biomedical sciences. But I did not want people to say, oh, it's because you couldn't do medicine. I didn't want people to say, oh, it's because you didn't want to do the science, you didn't want to become an engineer. No, I did not want to become an engineer. I did not want to become a doctor. I wanted to become a researcher. this is something I could go on and on and on about and talk about why the difference between medicine and biomedical sciences is so important, but the point still stands. People will still think medicine and biomedical sciences are the same, one better than the other. Something that also does not help with this whole problem is the fact that, at least for my high school, we did nothing. They maybe gave us a flyer, but you know how flyers are. Flyers are very perfect. They're never what you can expect. I did a lot of this discovering. It was really discovering because my high school didn't help anything. I did a lot of this discovering at the end. Like, I knew certainly I wanted to do biomedical sciences like 2 months before the entrance exams, and also during university itself, which is very strange because people are always like, when I joined biomedical sciences, people were like, okay, so you chose biomedical sciences, this is what biomedical sciences is. And I was like, well, I already joined, why do you need to explain to me what it is? Couldn't you have done that before? But again, the information around it is very difficult to find, and that is why I'm making this podcast. That is why I am talking about these things, because I think there's not enough straightforward information about how things like this work. If they need to explain what your course is during your course, you did not have enough information beforehand. I did not have enough information beforehand. I was just lucky. I found what I needed and I was kind of sure what I wanted. So here we are, 2 months before university. I wanted to do biomedical sciences, but I did not want to fill in that same story, that same stereotype of, oh my god, you can't do medicine, you do biomedical sciences. So what did I do? I applied for the medicine entrance exam. I said, oh, if I get taken, you don't need to put me into the list to become a medicine student, because I don't want to be a medicine student, but I want to do the exam. Partially to challenge myself and see where I stand, but partially to show the people around me that medicine or biomedical sciences are not superior. And yes, I passed. I could have done medicine. I could have been working with patients day in, day out. But as I thought about my future, I was more sure than ever that I did not want to become a doctor. I did not want to focus on diagnosing and treating individuals. Instead, I wanted, again, the big picture. I wanted the research behind diseases, the why behind certain health conditions, and the chance to contribute to breakthroughs. That is why I chose biomedical sciences, and that was a perfect fit for me. Think, for example, cancer. A doctor with an individual patient will apply tried and tested treatment methods, which are sure to be true. Not on all patients, that's why you have different methods and apply one after the other, but are tried and tested. While biomedical sciences are piecing together clues about things like cellular behavior and metabolic pathways, just overall innovative ways to explore and combat diseases, experimenting with new therapies that might change something in the future, but most importantly, this deeper and investigative approach, and that is what truly inspires me every day. Now, of course, the course itself will not be easy. It will not only be exploring and researching, you will have to do other things. Every course is made up out of very different but also very important pieces, and we will in the next episode talk more about motivation and balance and how it is very difficult to keep those two afloat during your life as a student. But this, what I talked about today, is why I chose biomedical sciences. The next episode will be about how to actually work during your study days how to walk through the courses, but this was why. So, just to give a little sneak peek about what the next episode will be, we have just procrastinated for 20 more minutes. It's a perfect time to say, oh, I can study, now I'm going to do something else for 20 minutes, and after 20 minutes you will be like, okay, now I'll try again. Someone very famous once said, don't beat yourself up constantly, beat yourself up once and then continue. That is what we will do now. We will stop the procrastination and continue on our lessons. Alright, that was really it. Time to head back to the books. But knowing us, there might be a little bit of procrastination woven into it. Until next time, keep pushing forwards, celebrate every single little achievement, and remember, every day is a new step to becoming the best version of yourself. So I will thank you for listening. I had a lot of fun explaining and really looking at why I chose biomedical sciences. I really hope this episode gave you some food for thought, a renewed sense of comfort. I hope you know that there's imperfection and challenge. There will always be imperfection and challenge in student life, and that is what makes our journey uniquely ours. Here's to embracing every moment, both the struggles and the triumphs, and I'll catch you in the next episode of the Procrastination Station.